What up, Gina? I'm live now. What up, Gina? Give me 1 minute, okay? 1 minute. We live, Gina. I'm just posting a link to my story so other people can join. So just like 1 more minute or so. But what up, Gina? I'm happy you're here. I saw you in the comments earlier, Gina. Yo, what up, Scott? What up? Gina, yeah, we're gonna be talking about Tom's father saying he still can't see. Biggest news story of the day. Tom's eyes still fucked. And breaking news. Bryce Mitchell just broke his nose. Okay, just freshly broke his nose. Literally posted a video in the training room with the broken nose. Fucking paper towels stuffed up in there like 30 minutes ago. So, sorry for the wait. I know I'm a little bit late, but it's going to be worth it. We got an extra story out of it. You know, Bryce Mitchell's broken nose. Without that, the stream wasn't going to be complete. Okay, so once again, but I told you guys I'd be here tonight, 7 o'clock. I've already been live for 6 minutes, so I was only 20 minutes late. Only 20 minutes late. Let me see here. And Unbroken requested, special request from Unbroken last night saying, you gotta go live earlier. So here I am. Here I am, Unbroken. I hope to see him in here eventually. What's the title here? I am sure he can see, but probably not very well. Well, Gina, let's get into it. Because I think, his dad is saying, like, it's weird. I'll give you a spoiler. Whoever's in the chat right now, I'll give you guys a spoiler. Yeah, it seems like Tom can see. It was more a figure of speech saying he can't see. Exactly as Gina said, he can see, but it's not back to how it was before the fight started, if that makes sense. So that's the context of him saying he still can't see. All right, guys, I've kept you waiting long enough. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back, welcome back. We're here at 7 p.m. tonight. Slightly late, 7:30 p.m. start time, but we're here. We're here. Tom Aspinall's father is claiming he still can't see. So this is an injury update from Tom's dad. And, yeah, not looking too good with the eye, according to the Aspinalls, but hey, make of it what you will. You know what I mean? We'll play this right now. We'll get to the bottom of it. Hopefully Bryce Mitchell's doing okay. The man just broke his nose. You know what I mean? Valter Walker actually broke his shin at UFC 321 off that big-ass leg kick that his opponent landed. So we got some news. We got some stories. And anything else that happened today, we will cover it. Shout out Scott. Shout out Gina. And let's go ahead and watch this video. They just dropped this today. 23 minutes. We'll see how much we watch of it. Because the Aspinalls, they be milking. They be milking just like me. You know what I mean? Just like me.
That my kid's got a job that he likes and he wants to do it. And he's been fouled in a contest. The guy who fouled him, no consequence to him. And now there's a consequence to Tom. And hopefully it'll be all right, but it might not be.
The phenomenon that is Tom Aspinall. Powerful, versatile, and indestructible. A machine wrapped in flesh. You know his name.
The last. First of all, Andy, the last time we saw Tom and yourself was Sunday morning in the hospital. Tom said to me that he needs more tests. What has happened since then? It's now Tuesday and we're sat at yours. Obviously, Tom's at home resting.
First of all, Andy,
what happened yesterday?
We got an appointment yesterday morning with a friend of ours who is one of the doctors from the UFC, and he got us a private appointment at Ciryl Hospital to see an eye specialist yesterday. He kind of basically did the same as the guy that we saw over there, said, it's bad, it's not good, but his eye is a little bit more closed than it was. His right eye still can't see anything. He said it's
Not much to say from me yet, but I will say we have to correct. The doctor said, you know, I didn't hear in the video the doctor saying, it's bad, it's not good. The doctor said you suffered no significant damage to the eye, right? Nothing dangerous. All right? Just want to clear that up real quick. That's what the doctor said.
It's just grey. And they tested him on words and he just couldn't see anything. He's grey. More closed than it was. His right eye still can't see anything. He said it's just grey. And they tested him on words and he just couldn't see anything. His left eye, 50%, he went down about 4 letters and then couldn't see the letters. So one's really, really blurry and one's still not working.
And you explained as well about, obviously, when someone pokes the eye, how the impact that it can have. Just explain that to people listening.
The guy described it yesterday. Your eye socket is like this and your eyeball is like this. And you can poke straight in the eyeball and it compresses it and it's like a ball that you flatten on the floor. And when it comes back, it springs back sometimes and can damage things. And you think that's what happened. Nothing's torn behind the eye. Everything's all right. And he said it was really bad how it looks.
Okay, so again, just to recap it slightly, his eye, you know, his vision is gray. But I guess they were reading a letter chart, and once they got to the 4th column, you know, it starts from biggest, right? So once they went from the 4th from the biggest, he couldn't see that. And I guess he's used to being able to see that. And then also, you know, I'm just repeating what his dad said, but I got to make some commentary on it. His dad's saying the eye got slightly deflated, right? Slightly deflated from the poke. I guess eyes are like balloons or airbags, and it eventually comes back, but when it starts to regain, you know, its size or whatever, injuries can happen. So I guess that's the explanation. Tom is kind of, it's been 72 hours since the fight. Tom's still dealing with stuff, and I guess it's because they warned him, while your eye is getting back to normal, you could potentially, experience some more discomforts, some more issues along the way. Right? So I mean, it's making sense. They are making sense by claiming his eye's still not at 100%, and him saying as it heals, you might, experience more issues before it ultimately gets better. I think it's still going to ultimately get better, but it's a speed bump. Not good if you want to avoid punches, is it? Exactly, Gina. Especially Gane's eye specials, LOL. Yeah, I mean, Gane coming in there poking heavy. Is it true that Gane had already eye poked him in the first round anyway? 100%, Gina. 100%. He put his fingers all up in his face as soon as he shot in for that first takedown attempt. You know what, Gina? Since you're asking, Gina, and I've had it bookmarked, I will pull it up real quick. And then we'll resume the video. Alright, give me 1 second. I just need to scroll through all this stuff real quick. I don't want to get copyrighted. Here it is. So Gina, if you're seeing this, 3 minutes 11 seconds into the first round, okay, Tom shoots in on a takedown attempt, and Ciryl Gane doesn't even try to move his feet back and sprawl, as you can see here, as you can totally see here. And so, look, hands straight in the face on a takedown attempt. Now, you got DJ Demetrius Johnson saying, oh, you know what I mean? When you're executing proper Muay Thai technique, you're going to do that. Well, tell me what proper Muay Thai technique Ciryl Gane was executing here. I'm just curious, DJ. DJ, I'm just curious, okay? Can you please tell me, right, what Muay Thai technique exactly was being executed here? Because, DJ says, when you're kicking, right? You put the hand out. Get the fuck out of my face with that, all right? Keep that hand out of my fucking face. Go ahead and kick all you want. You know what I mean? Keep that hand out of my fucking face. And regardless, he ain't even kicking here. He ain't even parrying a punch here, because that's what DJ said. You got to keep the hands open, parry a punch, right? You can't parry a punch with the hands closed, right? Come on now. Yes, you can, bro. You can still catch that shit. And it's like, come on, bro. Shooting him too much blame here. We're not going to stay on this for much longer, but Gina, here it is for you. All right, this is for you viewing today. I'm pulling this up for you. All right, eye poke, executing no fucking Muay Thai martial art technique whatsoever. No excuse. Not even DJ's excuse suffices here. Okay? All right? And I don't really want to get copyrighted, so let me pause it on here so you guys can see, okay? Let me pause it on here because I can't show you the live fucking footage, unfortunately. But you know what? I'm gonna. No, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a play-by-play, right? We're not gonna play the full footage, and I'm not even gonna max screen it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you the play-by-play, okay? Here they are standing still. Okay, they're standing still, right? This does kind of go into DJ's point a little bit, but I don't even buy it because look at it. Look, ready? Here comes the kick before the eye poke. What the hell's going on? Hold on. Here it is. Damn. All right, let me just play this shit. Do you see that? Ready? One more time. One more time for you guys. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy did a whole... Like, come on, dude. You changed the trajectory of your hand. You literally changed the trajectory of it. You're kidding me. You're kidding me right now. This guy goes like, I got my leg up in the air right now, but this guy keeps his hand right here just in case Tom presses forward. He can hit him right in the fucking face. Get out of here with that, dude. Get out of here with that. Should be a DQ for real. MMA Jesus 420 says. What a name. Shout out to this name right here. This is one of the best names I ever come across. So yeah, everybody's... Yo, what up, Dylan? What up, Dylan? The eye poke takedown defense. Exactly, Gina. You know it, Gina. You know it. Gone is French. Why can't Tom just fight by smell like in Bloodsport? Which doctor said that? The one at the fight? No, the doctor that they visited. Gina, the doctor they visited in the hospital after the fight is the one who said no serious significant damage occurred to the eye. Watched the Tuivasa fight. Gane tried to poke him right as Tuivasa dropped him. Okay. You know, they have a little compilation of Ciryl Gane's fucking dirty fouls throughout the game. He eye poked John Jones. Okay. Come on, man. What do you guys think this is? Like, you think this is all fucking coincidence? He be eye poking to gain an advantage at the beginning of these fights? I don't, you know what I mean? I'm starting to dislike Ciryl Gane. You know, punching heavy on back of the heads on multiple opponents, right? Hitting multiple opponents on the back of the head, this guy. Even to knock him out. They're already on their hands and knees, and this guy's still punching him in the back of the head. I haven't seen many eye pokes in Muay Thai fights. Buakaw never seen him do it. Well, Gina, you know what I mean? Thank you, Gina. Thank you. Can you go ahead and tell DJ that, Gina? I mean, DJ don't know shit, I guess. I'm just playing. DJ knows a lot, but DJ has weird takes sometimes. I don't know if he's trying to be edgy or not, but, you know. All respect to DJ, shout out to DJ, but, you know, I don't like his take. I don't like his take. I think he's shooting Ciryl Gane too much bail. All right. This is how a woman fights in a dark alley while screaming fire for help. Chris, that's a great example. Gina says her uncle taught her exactly what Chris just said. The scream and poke in the eyeball method. Probably kick him in the nuts too, I would imagine. On one leg, that's not a punch. Exactly, bro. He's not even trying to punch. He's trying to poke him in the eye. Yes, Gane is a dirty fighter. What up, Louie? Welcome, brother. Good to see you, brother. Then won by back of head strikes. Chris, yes. Yes, I just said that too. That's one of them. That's not even the first one. Seems like it the more I look at this. He lost the Volkov fight. It was a robbery. It's not a Muay Thai fight. Haha, DJ, very few eye pokes in Muay Thai. There we go. There we go. So we'll keep watching this video. But shout out everybody in the chat. Let me know what you make of this. Are they kind of like, I don't know. Is Tommy being a daddy's boy right now? Like, do we need all this? I mean, I'm enjoying it. Shit, we got no other news today. But I'm just wondering, like, do we like hearing from Tommy's daddy, or do we want to hear from Tommy? Like, let me know.
And he said, you can't train your eyeball to be stronger. It is what it is. You've protection here and here, but he obviously got no protection because the fingers were straight in. The fight should have been stopped. He couldn't see. It was a foul. He couldn't see. Then you can't fight. You know, if he'd have got knocked out with a head kick next, then it would have been worse. I don't know. And then he said, sometimes when your eyes here like that, it can become displaced and stay there. And they did a few tests on that, and they said it doesn't seem like that. And his vision on the eye that's the best eye, his eye wasn't following properly, so the muscles weren't working strong enough to go this way. This one just wasn't working that good at all. So we've got to have additional tests further this week, and Moyes is sorting the tests out for us, and he's got to have a CT scan, see if the bone's all right, but they think the bone's are all right.
It's quite terrifying, really, isn't it?
For me, everything's about his health. It's not about fighting, that's just what he chose to do as a job. And one of the consequences is you can get hurt, but it's a bad consequence if you lose your sight, and especially by a foul. And the guy who committed that, and I'm not getting at Ciryl Gane in any way, it happens a lot in MMA. If you commit a foul with an eye poke, the referee just says, don't do it. Nobody's ever lost a fight because of an eye poke. And I'm not saying somebody should win or lose, it doesn't, but the safety of the thing is paramount. And
Well, if he's not going to say it, I'll say it. I think a person should definitely lose, right? I think a person should definitely lose for an eye poke. So I'll say it for you, Andy. Real quick from the boys and girls responding to the chat. We got, Andy is just stating facts. Anyone's father would say the same. You know, Chris, I agree with you a little bit. I agree with you. The only thing I'm kind of getting slightly irritated about is and you know, I could change on this position, but like the whole this is my son, and what did he say? He goes like this is what he likes to do, and it just sucks that, like, I don't like that whole thing. Like, all right. Like, let's stop with the complaining and shit like that. But maybe I'll change on it. Maybe I'm being hard. I don't know. He is just stating facts. I will give you that. He's just stating facts.
I'm fed up of saying, if it was somebody else's son, they would say what I say. If your son's fighting, you want him to be as safe as you can. And he got poked in the eye and it's bad, and he could have lost his sight. Still not got his sight in one eye, so we don't know. We're still waiting on. We're waiting. Time is a healer, hopefully.
And you know Tom better than anyone else. How's he been from just what you can pick up?
He's just in a foul mood. He's not in a happy place. He's not making his home life that happy, because he's mad, sad, upset, whatever, that we've spent. You know, he's had 3 or 4 years now with taking a fight in the night, taking a fight on short notice, being a backup fighter, sitting around waiting for John Jones, and then we get a fight, but it's been 15 months, so he's had 3 minutes fight time in however long it's been, and he's just mad that we trained long and hard and lots of cardio to try and do a longer fight, because everybody says Tom can't do that. Well, we'll show that you can do that. And even the week of the fight, go out there, take your time. It was said on that video that you did 5 times. Take your time, enjoy it, have a look, see what you think. We know your fitness is absolutely spot on. See how it goes. And he's mad that he didn't get to show what we think he can do.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. I'm just that he's like that, because I only do it to be with him and enjoy it with him. And we had the best. We had a great week. You know, we sorted out the best place we've ever stayed at, the best people at the place we stayed.
Well, while they're talking about that stuff, let me elaborate a little bit on this, like my stance on his dad. I guess kind of it's for me a little bit. Maybe this is where I'm coming from. I'd rather hear from Tom. I would rather hear from Tom. I'd like to see a video of Tom sitting down, just telling his piece, but I guess Tom's pissed, so we're going to have to settle for this, and this is fine. This is fine. But I would rather just hear from Tom himself. Louis goes, okay, so Gina goes, maybe first time severe warning, another one, and disqualified. Gina, you know what these guys have shown, that they don't even you know, can't even handle that much leniency. They're so dirty with it that if it's a severe warning on the first time, they'll take a severe warning. If you mean by severe warning a point deduction and then a disqualification, okay, you know, But I mean, these guys are so slimy with it, they'll take a severe warning. That's pretty much how it is now, minus the DQ. But you know what I mean? First one is like severe warning. Second one, maybe a point. There's been times where people poke people in the eye multiple times and no point is taken. The problem is a portion of the UFC fans have turned on him and think of him as a quitter no matter what his dad says. Plus, it's his dad, so what would he say? There are a lot of people who believe he's a quitter and they're just trying to find anything to back up that narrative, Louis. I get that. No, his dad's saying all the things, you know, I would expect him to say, to be honest. He's given inside info. I'd rather hear from his dad than like his manager or something. So I'm not too mad at it. Last time Tom had a no contest when he blew his knee, he came back and KO'd Blades in 69 seconds. You know, I'm not fully counting out Tom in the rematch. I'm really not. I think it's almost like, you know how everybody's overlooking Gane going into this? I think a lot of fans are now overlooking Tom going into the rematch. And I think the fight is still very close. You know, we only saw 5 minutes. And I believe Tom still could potentially make Ciryl Gane quit. Let's go no eye pokes and see. You know, let's go no eye pokes and see. But yeah, I want to see these boys run it back again. I want to see their cardio. I still somewhat believe in Tom. You know, I think it's a good fight. Like, I know people are going to say, oh yeah, Ciryl Gane's going to walk through Tom now. I don't see that. I still see it being a somewhat competitive fight for as long as it lasts. Chris says he's been training Tom and BJJ since he was a toddler. Half of Tom's channel involves his father. Most of their posts are about what Tom's been eating. I don't keep up with the channel too much, but shout out Chris for letting me know. But Chris, I do gotta say, I'm sure you already heard it, but it's like, why the fuck is, see, you said right here, Tom, he's been training Tom and BJJ, yet this man wants Tom to be a boxing champion. Like, at least we can agree on this. We have to agree on this. This man has no place saying that he wants his son to be a boxing champion as a jiu-jitsu instructor. Please. Gina hates John Jones. John Jones, LOL, clapped out old drug cheat. Aspinall may not be a killer, be killed fighter, but even fighters that are quitters with a lot of talent have been champions. That's Louis. Yeah, Louis, and you know, I think, you know, credit to the fighters who are killer, be killed, right? Credit to the fighters. And it's almost going to be contradicting because the examples of like Aljamain Sterling, let's take Aljo out of it. John Jones and Dustin Poirier, right? Even like a Michael Bisping. These guys, they all had long careers and they're killer, be killed. So I do get like, you can be killer, be killed and still have a long ass career. But I'm just saying, your career would probably be longer if you value your health first and foremost. And that means kind of like not being killer, be killed when somebody's poking you in the eye, you know what I mean? And compromising you for no fucking reason and you can't do it back. I see he is looking for some attention now. Gina talking about John Jones. 100% finish rate, and this the thanks he gets. It's a culture problem. It is a culture problem with the fans, Chris. It's a culture problem with the fans. They're not educated, you know, and it's okay. Maybe soon enough, though, they'll become more educated. But they're really just, they like to repeat, you know, nice, sensational, you know, headlines almost. He quit, you know what I mean? He's going to walk through him. You know, he was getting his ass beat. They don't really think further than that. Like for me, I'm like, okay, yeah, Ciryl Gane was beating up Tom, but I still want to see Tom in the 3rd and 4th round if they can make it there and see what happens then. Okay, point off first time, next time disqualify. Okay, Gina. Yeah, no more warnings, though. No more warnings. It should be more serious than a ground strike, back of the head blow, or kick to a grounded opponent. No one has ever been DQ'd over an eye poke. Yeah, bro, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It needs to happen. Gane was better in the 1st round, but there there is such a thing as changing tactics. Haven't we all seen that before? Yes, Gina Floyd Mayweather made that tactic very popular. It's called executing different game plans in a fight, different styles. You know what I mean? In a fight, in a championship fight, you got to keep your opponent guessing. You got to bring different styles. If you come into a fight and you got one style the whole time from round 1 to round 5, you know what I mean? That ain't the best. It's good if you can come in there, right? First round, you're pop shot and pop shot and pop shot in. Your opponent goes back to the corner. He figures, oh fuck, all right, he's pop shot in this fight. I got to plan for the pop shots, right? Then you come out second round, completely different fighter, completely different game plan. Right in the pocket, slipping and ripping, right? This guy just game planned for the last minute during the break about you pop shotting, and now you come in, totally different game plan. He's thrown off, right? So multiple game plans in a fight works. Tom could have gone back to the corner and said, hey, let me try a different game plan on Ciryl now. You know, Cyryl's pop shot and he's staying outside. Let me try a different game plan. I'm all for it. Gina, that's a great point. Very educated fan you are. Gina says, yes, but his dad isn't saying he would train him as a boxer, is he? Well, I'll say it like this. Gina, you tell me. He said, this is the sentence he said. He goes, I want a boxing champion. Why do you want a boxing champion? You're a jiu-jitsu coach. And you only teach your son. Like Andy Aspinall, I think when he was speaking about that, he was speaking as if he's some type of Trevor Whitman. You know? Like if Trevor Whitman said, I want a boxing champion, okay. But Andy Aspinall saying he wants a boxing champion, there's no merit to that. That's like, I'm an MMA journalist, right? A combat sports journalist, whatever you want to call it, right? Do I have any claim to fame saying, you know, I want to call fights in soccer? So that's the thing I don't like about what he said as far as boxing. What do you mean you want a boxing champion? All right, we'll watch the rest of this interview real quick. That would be silly if he did. Yeah, I don't think he's going to train him as a boxer, but, you know, don't even guide him in that path. You don't know much about boxing, Andy. Has anyone asked John Jones, does he want to fight Aspinall now? No, Louis, he hasn't done any media. That ESPN interview was a smear campaign hit piece. Louis, which ESPN interview are you talking about? Oh, Chris telling me to watch the rest of this. He talks about boxing in a minute. More money in boxing and no eye pokes, just brain damage, LOL. Yeah, I mean, he would make more money in boxing in one fight than he would his entire UFC career. It's way safer and pays more. Chris, I don't know about way safer. Because at least in MMA, the damage is dispersed. You know? 12 rounds boxing. All damage going to the upper half of the body, waist up, you know? I'd say Tom's resume speaks volumes about his boxing. Yeah, Chris, but man, we've seen it, bro. It's different, man. It's different. And you almost got to take my word for that. You don't have to. Time will tell. But I'm telling you, bro, it's different, man. It's different. It's different. You can't compare his MMA wins, you know, and be like, oh, yeah, he would do good in boxing. Unfortunately. And I know Francis Ngannou broke the system, so it's hard to debate it, but I'm going to stand on the side like nothing Ciryl Gane has done in MMA is an indication that he will be good in boxing. I will be firm on that, but hey, I'm going to let you have your opinion, Chris. Yeah, 50 mil. 50 mil will be like 5 times more than he'll make in his entire UFC career. All right, let's watch.
Everything went all right in the week. It didn't, because you told me that some reporters think that because I think that he should box because it's more money, that affected him in the fight. I've never heard as much as people saying what I say affects Tom in a fight. I say loads of things to loads of people. People who are around me all the time know that. Boxers are around me all the time. It's just because of the money. And it's the back to, if your son was a fighter, would you sooner fight for a ton of money or not a ton of money? It's a no-brainer, but people still have a narrative of what a fight is. Tom goes and fights and spars every week for most of his life. He never bothers who he fights, when he fights, where he fights. He never gives up in sparring. He's lost one fight where he gave up to a heel hook 10 years ago maybe. And after the fight, he went to the hospital and he had kidney stones and he stayed in for a few nights. And the reason he gave up was he was tired or the heel hook hurt him, but whatever. But he never gives up.
He's never even spoke about that because he doesn't want that to be a thing.
He doesn't tell anybody that, but that's by the by.
But it's not in his personality, is it?
But it was good for him to lose because he'd not lost.
Yeah.
So he loses the fight, and so what? It's just a fight, it's a sport. Team wins and a team loses, and that's what happens. So there was no problem with that. No animosity, it doesn't matter. And then he got disqualified in a fight, and then...
So for the record, I'm okay. What up, Jew? Welcome, Jew. Early night here, Jew. We started at 7:20. Again, right? It's all about wording. I'm chill with Tom's dad saying, hey, we want to go to boxing. We want more money. It's a no-brainer. How am I supposed to disagree with that? No lie was told, okay? But again, Andy Aspinall said this verbatim. I want a boxing champion. He has no business saying that, and he still has no business saying that. Keyword champion. He's not saying, I want my son to box one time. He wants a boxing champion. So, yeah, again, he probably misspoke there. But I'm all for the idea of fighting in boxing for 50 million or even 10 to 20 million is a no-brainer. Okay, fine. You know what I mean? Now, as far as the third topic of this, which is how well he would do up against a boxer, how well he would be able to compete, I'm going to stay on my side with that, okay? I'm going to stay on my side. The only other thing, though, that Tom has in his favor is it's at heavyweight. You know what I mean? The higher up you go in weight, generally speaking, the lower the skill. So, like, you know, the power can become more of an equalizer as they go up. Keep watching. Okay. I will keep watching.
He got injured in a fight. And then this one, if you can't see in a fight, it's too dangerous to fight. And you see the socials, I don't give a shit what people say or do. It doesn't bother me. They've got opinions and they think they're right, or they've got opinions and they want some attention coming to themselves, or they've got opinions and they want to make a video to make some money. Let them do that if they want to do that. I'm not bothered about any of that. I'm just bothered that my kid's got a job that he likes and he wants to do it, and he's been fouled in a contest. The guy who fouled him, no consequence to him, and now there's a consequence to Tom. And hopefully it'll be all right, but it might not be.
People forget as well that he's got a wife, 3 kids, and he...
This is just a job that he's doing for this period in time.
Yeah.
And he'll do another job.
But if he'd carried on in that fight and, say, with one eye...
But he couldn't carry on because he couldn't see.
Exactly. And Ciryl Gane then goes and hits him.
Yeah.
And he knocks himself out.
And then in 2 years, Tom Aspinall got knocked out by Ciryl Gane. But he got hit in the eye first, and that doesn't get written in the record books. And I'm sure at that minute, he didn't give that... That was the least... He just kept saying, I can't see. So...
For the record, I believe Tom. I think he made the right decision. All of it.
And Stipe were in the corner, and James, and Stipe said, what are we doing? I said, I don't know. We've got 5 minutes. Let's see. And then he said, what will happen? I said, I don't know. He'll get paid. And then I said, I don't know if he does get paid. And it was a funny situation. You know, we were wondering what happened. And then we asked the referee, and the referee said it'll be a no contest. So I said, if he can't see, he can't fight. As simple as that. And I defy anybody, if they can't see, to go and have a fight. And I defy anybody. I'm a martial artist, and I'm small. Get a big martial artist and get 100 people in a room and say, I'll give you 10 strikes, your leg, I can kick you in your leg or kick you in your stomach or I can poke you in your eye. And I'll tell you what, nobody will want a poke in the eye. Because if you've ever had a poke in the eye in a fight, it's not funny. And you couldn't see. Back to that. If you can't see, you can't fight. If you can't see, you're going to get hurt.
Was alluding
It's just a fight.
to the consequences in 10 years' time if he then was to be knocked out and her brain
Brilliant.
damaged.
Everybody's forgot about it then.
And three kids that won't have a life.
Can't even think about it.
No.
No, they are cooking with all that. Like, all that stuff is cooking. You know, Tom Aspinall continues fighting 2 years from now. Ain't nobody saying, except for me, because I never let that shit go. Even today, when we speak about how Sean O'Malley beat Aljo, I will never finish that sentence without saying that Aljo was rushed to turn around. You know what I mean? And he was completely weight drained for that and just overtrained in general. Too active. You know what I mean? They turned him around so fucking quick for that, knowing exactly what they were doing. If Aljo had enough time off in between fights, between his one before O'Malley and the one for O'Malley, if he had more time off and then he was able to go into a proper camp, you know what I mean? That fight is a whole other story. So I do speak up, but a lot of people would just say, no, Ciryl Gane knocked out Tom Aspinall. Nobody would ever talk about the eye poke, right? Nobody would ever talk about it. If Tom suffers an injury from getting knocked out, right, nobody's going to say, oh, it was because Ciryl Gane poked him that one time and he shouldn't have continued. You know, they're cooking, they're spitting facts here. Jew, I would like to hear you elaborate, though, because maybe I'm just missing it. Seems like Gina gets what you're saying. But what do you mean, if you are going to say he might not be, then they better have proof? He might not be what? What am I missing here? Chris says he could fight Jake Paul once in a Netflix and be done. Chris, sure, I'll give it to you. Sure. And I'm sure if he finds a way to get out of that UFC contract, Tom Aspinall versus Jake Paul could be a fight. I could see that. Bane says Aljo over O'Malley. See, Bane? There we go. My guy Bane. What up, Bane? There's only a few real ones like me, you know what I mean, who actually speak about the things that happen in fights. There's only a few real ones. I also call it out, you know what I mean? If a fighter misses weight or something and he wins, nah, dude, I'm fucking pointing that shit out. Gina goes, and you also need proof to say that he will be all right. Again, I'm not sure what you guys are referring to with the proof. If you're going to hint at it being something serious, then they should show us it's serious because the doctors said they couldn't find anything. They hinted that it was bad enough to stop his career. Oh, I see what Drew's saying. So yeah, they're using a lot of like words right now, but he'd rather see like a doctor report or something. Well, Drew, I'll give you the explanation his dad gave because you just joined the chat. His dad is basically saying, and I'm just going to take him at his word for it. I don't even need a piece of paper for this one, but I'll give you the explanation. It made sense to me. You know, poke a hole in it if you'd like to. I'd love to hear it if you got a hole to poke in it. But his dad said that the eye, after a poke like that, it deflates a little bit. So once it deflates, it eventually blows back up to its original form. While it's kind of restoring back to its original form, other complications can occur while it's technically like fully healing. So that's why Tom's still fully healing and he's experiencing a little bit more complications, in my opinion, before it fully heals. It's just a part of the process. But, you know, I guess that's why he's saying, that's his explanation why it's still, you know, why anything is even hurting in the first place, right? That's because the doctor said nothing dangerous or serious happened, right? And so that would be the only explanation to why Tom's eye is still hurting, because it deflated, right, on the night it got poked, and right now it's reinflating, and as it reinflates, it's causing some other complications. I don't know what you make of that, Jew. I don't know if that helps you. They hinted that it was bad enough to stop his career. See, I mean, I need proof on that. They make them do weight cuts so they're Norepinephrine spectacular KOs due to less liquid in the skull. Chris, Chris, yes, dude, yes. Why do you think the UFC likes the weight cutting? Why do you think the UFC, right, only wants a certain amount of weight cuts? Or, sorry, weight classes. Chris, that's a great point. I love that you guys be saying this shit in the chat right now. Because I get it. I know what you're saying, Chris. I know what you're saying. The UFC likes weight cuts. That's how they get good knockouts. And if you don't understand what me and Chris are saying, then, you know, maybe you will eventually. But I'm telling you, the UFC likes the weight cuts. That's how they get good knockouts, okay? And I'll give you an exhibit. Exhibit A. Alex Pereira getting his ass flatlined by Ciryl Adesanya. Okay? He was weight drained, bro. He can't take a shot at 185. Especially the way they turned that shit around. That was inside a year. Inside like 6 months they turned that shit around. If they weigh in on the day, people would stop dropping weight. Yeah, Chris, but then the UFC would never do that because, again, I just said it. I got you, Jir. I got you. I'm caught up now. Yeah, look how easy Aljo took a bigger guy at 45 down, but he couldn't budge O'Malley. He was weight drained in that fight, and he went down from the shot from O'Malley, and he takes bigger shots from guys at 45 now. In theory. 2 fights left now. It's a contract. He has no obligatory to the UFC. Maybe pay him what he's worth. 3 heavyweight champs. Walking away kind of says it all. Chris, man. Shout out to Chris, man. Shout out to Chris. Chris, you a good fan, bro. You a good fan. I don't know if it's just because you love the shit out of Tom Aspinall. I don't know if it's just because you love the shit out of Tom Aspinall, but I don't think it is. I think you're an educated fan, Chris. I'll give you a cosign, Chris. The main area of concern is inside the eye, whatever it looks like on the outside, and that's didn't look good. Did it? The outside looks fine, Gina. I'm gonna be real. The outside looks fine. The outside looks fine, Gina. And so they about the inside of the eye, right? About the inside of the eye. That's why everybody was calling it corneal abrasion. They were calling corneal abrasion on the eye because that is something that the human naked eye can't detect. You need a microscope for that. Like, I can't just look at Tom's eye and see he has a corneal abrasion. So everybody's being like, yeah, it doesn't cosmetically look bad. It must be a corneal abrasion, which is inside the eye. However, there have been no reports, and we cannot make assumptions. Until there's a report, you know what I mean? I cannot say something happened to the inside of his eye. I cannot say that. In the video that Tom posted, none of the doctors said there was an injury inside of his eye. So I cannot say that. You know what I mean? Interesting. Might have to hit Google on that one. Damn, I keep missing Jew's fucking comments. Is it just me? Jew, what the hell do I gotta Google? Help me out, Jew. I'm trying to understand this shit. There's more. Well, if you get kicked in the liver, you might get a bruise. You might not, but that doesn't mean it won't hurt like hell. That's true, Gina. You get better performances if the fighters are at healthy weights. Not a good trade-off, IMO. Bane. I guess, but like I wouldn't disagree with that. But again, the UFC don't care about a better performance. They want a guy to get knocked the fuck out. That's what they want. The UFC don't care about a better performance. You know? Thanks, G. And I just got into him a while ago while he was still inactive. I did my research. I've watched UFC since the beginning but fell off for a while. I hate John Jones, though. Shout out, Chris. Shout out, Chris. Chris, a real one for that last part. I'm not doubting the eye poke blinded him at all from the outside looking in, though. It just feels like they are milking it to sway public opinion, and I personally don't feel like they need to do that. My bad, I meant I have to hit Google. Oh, okay, you got to hit Google. Jew, you should have been in here earlier. Everybody disagreed with me, which is fine, and I kind of changed my tune. But I was like, are you guys annoyed of hearing about from Tom's daddy yet? But they're all like, nah, he's spitting facts. He's spitting facts. And, you know, he is spitting facts. He is spitting facts. Is it a good look that, like, I guess if you look at it from, like, the pure cosmetic side, you know, you got, like, a 35-year-old man, heavyweight champion's father talking for him. It's kind of funny. But it's, you know, it is what it is. He's his coach. I'll let it be. No failed drug test or ducking fights. No cherry-picked fights with strikers who can't grapple. Tom just seems authentic. It's all about these TikTok reels. Yeah, we can't be slandering Tom. We can't slander Tom over this. Dr. Brian Sutter gave a decent opinion on this. Admittedly, he didn't have the benefit of a scan or whatever. Gina, I didn't watch the Sutter thing. I didn't watch it. Gina goes, Jew, maybe they're just trying to counter people saying that he quit. Okay. All right, I get it. So they're feeling a lot of those comments about people quitting, which is causing them to put out the videos and shit like that. But did anyone see that video of Tom Aspinall? He's like this, right? Tom's like this. And then he peeps up at the camera like this. And then he keeps it going. Did anyone see that clip? Tom's getting it on both sides. They're like, this fucking guy peeped up at the camera to make sure he's still filming to see if he should keep acting. So that speaks to what Jew's saying. You know what I mean? There is a clip of Tom going like this. Peeping to see if he's still being filmed on camera. Too good. Do I think Aspinall will be back for the Gane rematch this year? I mean, if the way they're talking now, no. The way they're talking now, I don't even think I want to say, like, yes, I'll say no. But personally, I would like to see him, and off of everything I've seen, I think he probably can do it, bro. I know that they're pissed off about the eye poke. I know his eye isn't 100% right now, but like they've been saying, you know what I mean? There's no scratches. There's no detachments, right? There's nothing wrong. Aside from, I guess, the eye got a little bit deflated. The eye got a little bit deflated. That's the most they've said about the eye. The eye got deflated from the poke. Because if you put a lot of pressure on an eye, it's like an airbag, so it naturally deflates. You could do it to yourself right now, which I don't recommend you do. But that's the only info we really got. So, Louis, to answer your question, it's like, do I think Tom will be back? Like I said, right now, no. But do I personally think, based off everything I heard, can he return? Yeah, I do. I do think he can return. All right, Chris, I'll keep watching. Let me speed run these chats. Yes, it seems a bit contrived. I think that's a good word, Louis. I think the eye poke is legit, and I also think they are milking it a bit to counter the people saying he quit. Bane, you know, this chat's amazing right now. We're getting to the bottom of this shit, boys. Two things can be true, right, boys? Gina, yeah, but people that know the sport know better. LOL. It's just TikTok kids that don't know much about anything calling him a quitter. Yeah, but you know what's funny, Jew? What I've realized is it's all the TikTok kids, or how do I say this? Like the people you're saying, right? Like yourself, I guess, or like the people who know the sport, none of them have Instagrams. None of them got Twitter accounts. None of them got TikToks. You know what I mean? It's all the kids that you're talking about, Jew. They're all the ones with the social media accounts. So it's like the people like yourself, Jew, Aspinall almost not even hearing you, right? Because you don't got a TikTok account to fucking defend them on. All of these kids, though, on the TikTok accounts, they be roasting. So yeah, a lot of the uneducated fans are the ones with the social media accounts. It's crazy these days. Tom never gonna fight again. Anthony Smith, that twit son. Anthony Smith and that twit son and man. Anthony Smith is a wild boy. He is going to have to watch out for Gane's fingers because he will do it in the rematch. Just watch. Louis, I would just quit the fight again then. Fuck that guy. Chael retracted his statement, LOL, and Anthony can't really say much given his performances. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's keep watching, boys.
And that's why
You can't see, you can't fight.
that's why the emotions were so high on Sunday morning when obviously we sat down. It was just
From our side, it was horrendous. Because our main guy, who we all work with and round and are with every day, couldn't see, and you saw the mood he was in. So upset and so grieved. And Ciryl, I'm sure, the same, but he fouled. There's a consequence, or should be consequence, to fouling, and he's not got a consequence. And I'm not saying he should have. The UFC have got some rules that what will it take to change those rules? Will it take somebody's eye being poked and falling on the floor? I don't know if that's a thing. I'm sure it's not. But what does it take?
Is it gonna take an NBA style fucking FBI investigation? Because all I gotta say is, like, you guys are choosing at this point, like, I agree with Andy. You guys are choosing, if you don't fix this shit, if you don't clear the shit up, you guys are choosing to operate in a system of lunacy. Like, like, come on, man. We can't look at it any other fucking way. We can't look at it any other fucking way at this point. If nothing changes, then I'm completely fucking sus. I'm completely fucking sus if nothing changes. And what do I want to change? Because since I'm on my high horse, right, and I'm speaking, let me give you the examples. Because I'm not just gonna say shit. Oh, I want something to change and not fucking elaborate on it. What would I take, or what would it take? I'll tell you what I would take. What I would change. Okay, number one, intentional versus unintentional. Scratch that. We don't need either. We don't need intentional or unintentional. In fact, we could just chalk it all up to intentional, because you're supposed to have control of your weapons. Every strike you throw is intentional. So take out the unintentional part. All right? The other side to it, take out the side of a no contest. Right? And make it a disqualification for a foul. So basically, right now as they have it, we've been talking about this for days, boys, for days. But I'm not going to fucking stop. Right now, as they have it, right, if it gets chalked up as an unintentional eye poke, it ends in a no contest. If it gets chalked up as an intentional eye poke, it gets chalked up as a disqualification. Okay? That first thing I just said, as far as unintentional, no contest, get rid of both. Get rid of fucking both. Okay? Get rid of them. Simple and plain. That's all that needs to happen. And here's another thing. Let me just throw one other thing in here. All right? Mandate instant replays. We need 100% satisfaction guaranteed. We need to be 100%, 1000% certain, bro. And the only way to be 100,000% certain, okay, is instant fucking replay. I'm not going to keep saying, or you know what? I might keep fucking saying it if I have to. But that's what I would change. That's 3 rule changes. Take out unintentional eye pokes, right? It's always intentional. Take out the no contest, right? And add in instant replay. Now, over the last 3 weeks, I'm talking Neil Magny versus Jake Matthews. I'm talking Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frivola. I'm talking Mike Malott versus Kevin Holland. I'm talking what am I talking? I'm talking Tom Aspinall versus fucking Ciryl Gane. That's what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about all 4 of these fights that have happened in the last 3 fucking weeks, right? Could have all been solved by these 3 rule changes I'm proposing. Get rid of unintentional illegal strikes. Get rid of the no contest due to unintentional illegal strikes. And then add an instant replay. And all those fouls over the last 3 weeks would have been fucking cemented. Like, we would have known. We wouldn't be discussing it now, because we could have just been like, oh no, the instant replay showed this, and we got clarity then. But the reason why we still discuss this bullshit today, right now, is because we haven't got clarity. There's never any clarity. And if there is clarity, then tell me the clarity with Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frivola. Tell me the clarity between Mike Malott and Kevin Holland. Tell me the clarity between Neil Magny and fucking Jake Matthews. I want to know the clarity. Shout out to Tuxedo Mask for the $5 donation. breaking news. The eye poke is so severe that it has torn a hole in the fabric of space, time, and threatens the fate of the entire galaxy. Tuxedo, thank you for the donation, my brother. I appreciate it. And welcome to the chat, Tuxedo Mask. Okay, let's keep watching this video.
Is it the money that, you know, people won't watch the fights because they're not as exciting, because the gloves are not as good? I don't know the answer. The old Pride gloves were different, but something, from my point of view, needs to be done in the sport to stop happening what happened on Saturday night in Tom's fight.
I googled how many fighters have been disqualified for eye pokes in the history of UFC. Do you know the answer?
No.
None.
So it's a foul that you can do. You know, even on Saturday night, there was a foul where one guy held another guy's gloves so he couldn't move his hand. So the referee took his gloves off, took his hand off his glove. So that's a foul, but that didn't get punished either. They grabbed the fence. I don't know what the other fouls are. They get hit between the legs and they just go, right, don't do it again. I'll warn you.
You guys realize that in wrestling, if you grab somebody's singlet, that's like a penalty, that's a point or some shit like that? Like in wrestling, you can't even grab somebody's singlet. Like, a coach can throw a challenge, right? If somebody gets a takedown and it turns out they grab the singlet to get it. A coach can challenge a takedown. If somebody grabs a singlet to get the fucking takedown. So, you know, I was initially, a second before I said what I just said, I was thinking, yeah, Tom or Andy, but you know, a glove grab is incidental. You know what I mean? Who cares? But no, bro. Fuck these cheating guys. Fuck these guys who are doing anything to game the system. I get it. It's a fight. But, dude, grabbing the fence even, grabbing gloves, right? Fuck you and your dirty shit, bro. I see the chat going crazy, so I might as well just go off on here and read this from you boys. People forget Chuck Liddell's Kempo thumb eye gouge run while Dana celebrated his cheating, forcing people to continue. Chris, I was too young for Chuck Liddell's run to really even know what was going on. So I'll take your word for it. 15 months of his prime wasted, then this. I know. It's annoying. Gina calls Anthony Smith, or should I say, I like an eye poke Smith. Shout out Anthony Smith. Smith fought on in that fight. He was eye poked and didn't he? And he lost after having done well before the eye poke. Gina, I think he was always losing that fight, but yes, he did continue on fighting. He was never going to beat John Jones, though. Never. Even if that eye poke never happened. Eye poke was clearly legit. Okay, Hampton Hudson, let's hear it. Let's hear it, Hampton. Eye poke was clearly legit, but what else was clearly legit? Wait, let me reread that. Eye poke was clearly legit, but what else was clearly legit? That motherfucker wanted out, and he wanted out ASAP. Why? We don't know. Maybe Gane was more than he expected. I'm a big Aspinall fan. He quit. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Damn, Hampton. Damn, bro. Yeah, I know. A lot of people are like you, Hampton. They agree with you. Not in this chat. But a lot of people online agree with you, bro. You're fine to say that Tom wanted out. You know what I mean? You can interpret it however you want. It's just not something I'm comfortable doing. I'm just keeping it a buck. You know what I mean? I'm not comfortable speaking for another man. You know? I'll do it. Like I spoke for Dana being like, oh, Dana thinks Tom quit. You know, but when it comes to speaking about it like a man's heart, you know what I mean, in a fight, I don't really like to. And it's Tom Aspinall, you know. If there was a reputation for shit like this, like a Junior Taffa, I wouldn't even fucking stop talking shit. You know what I mean? He would never hear the end of it. But Tom, you gotta really prove that to me that you're like a piece of crap for me to hop on you like that and assume that you wanted out and shit. Bane, what would it take? What would what take, Bane? Congrats. Congress has to get involved like back. Congress has to get involved like back in the day when you could kick a grounded opponent in the teeth with shoes on. Oh my god. I think Dana wished he could make eye gouging legal. Louis. You guys are cracking me up with this, I'm not gonna lie. Well, he was always curious about... What's wrong with you boys right now? Well, he was always curious about people getting fingered by an MMA fighter. Well, I guess Tom got fingered, huh, Jew? It's fucking stand-up comedy hour in the chat right now. 3 back-to-back jokes by Chris, Louis, and Jew. Good shit, boys. They don't DQ because the show must go on. It's toxic as fuck. Chris, makes sense to me, bro. Because they always chalk it up, right? It's entertainment. We're in the entertainment business, the show business. And honestly, that's an oversimplification for a game that involves... And honestly, that is an oversimplification for a game that involves life points. I don't know why that was so hard for me to get that out. But yeah, talking about the show must go on is completely an oversimplification for a game that involves life points. It's worth saying twice. How is it not intentional after a warning? What would it take? Bro, I don't know, Chris. Maybe just a blanket statement. No more intentional or warnings. You know, or no more warnings. Fuck people's interpretation. It's too much, bro. Fuck people's interpretation. It don't even matter. Like I said before, don't you think you look like a fucking idiot if really the coaches are in the back, right? Think about this. A coach could easily tell Ciryl Gane, yo, poke his fucking ass, right? Poke this dude. His coach could easily say that, and Cyryl's like, okay, got you. Ciryl goes in there, makes the eye poke, the referee huddles up with his fucking officials, and the referee turns back around and is like, it wasn't intentional. These guys both know that shit was intentional. I'm just proposing an idea. Right? But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you have no business saying whether or not it's intentional or unintentional. In fact, you look like a fucking idiot. You look like a fucking idiot because who knows if they even agreed on that or not, and they probably did. If you're talking about Derek Lewis, who's poked people in the eye and it's been ruled as unintentional, and if you're talking about John Jones, who has poked people in the eye and it's been ruled as unintentional, and both of these guys are on film, are on record saying, I poke people in the eyes and I don't give a fuck. It's part of the game. I will do it to win. Okay? The referee has made themselves look like fucking idiots on both times, chalking those up to unintentional. Damn, I'm getting donos right now. Holy shit, what's going on? All right. Sorry, ain't good enough. Let me prioritize Tuxedo's dono. Tuxedo, thanks again for the dono, brother. $2 from Tuxedo. Based Hoppa Aspinall Glazer channel. Dude, Tuxedo, that's disrespectful, bro. That's disrespectful. But I am a Hoppa. I don't know how you knew that. I can't believe you, Tuxedo. All right, let me read the other one from Tuxedo. $5 dono again from Tuxedo. This man can say whatever the fuck he wants to me at this moment in time. To be fair, why not wait the full 5 minutes before saying you cannot see? If you really wanted to continue fighting, you wouldn't say, I can't see so fast. Tuxedo, this is my answer to you. This is my answer to you. Bro, what if he couldn't fucking see? Tuxedo, what if he couldn't see, bro? Like, come on, what if he couldn't see? What if he couldn't see? Like, that's my thing. That's all I can really say. Like, what do you want me to say? What do the Aspinall detractors want me to say? he said I can't see because he wanted out of the fight because he was getting his ass beat. I mean, I know what you guys want me to say. I know what you guys want me to say. But I can't say that, bro. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that Tom Aspinall, you know what I mean, looked for a way out of the fight because he was getting his ass beat and didn't want to continue. I'm just not ready to say that, bro. You can get mad at me for that all you want, you know. You can get mad at me for that all you want. And shout out to Tuxedo again. Love you, Tuxedo. All right, let me read some of the other chats. Tom and his father, Jerry. Sorry, ain't good enough from Chris. It ain't good enough. Yay, Ver from Gina. Bane says, I don't know if I've ever seen a DQ in the UFC, but I've seen plenty of no contests. Bane, and that's the problem, bro. A no contest is a nothing on your record. It don't go in the win or loss column. So who cares? Right? If there was a DQ, that goes in the loss column. Oh, somebody cares then. All you got to do is make it a DQ, make it an automatic point deduction. Start really cracking down on this shit, bro. You grab the fence, point deduction. You grab the gloves, point deduction. We're going to use a replay. Let's go back and use that instant replay. Yup, your fingers were all up in his gloves. All up in that dude's gloves. Point. Resume the fucking fight. Let's go. Like, we don't, like, I'd be okay for all these pauses in action. Get this shit on lockdown, bro. Get this shit locked in. No matter if Aspinall wanted out or not, Gane should have been DQ'd. Gane should have to go back and get a win over a high-ranked fighter before another shot. There we go, Louis. There we go. There we go. Regardless, you know, he got poked in the eye. And the blame should not go on Tom. You know what I mean? Even to go back to what Tuxedo said earlier, right? Saying, like, what did Tuxedo say? Putting it on Tom again, like, why didn't Tom say why did Tom say he couldn't see? Why didn't he wait the full minutes? Tuxedo, why did Ciryl Gane poke him in the eye? Tuxedo, why was his fingers all up in Ciryl Gane's face, or why was his fingers all up in Tom's face on that first takedown attempt? You know what I mean? I got questions for you too, Tuxedo, so please answer those. You know, I answered your question. Please answer me why Ciryl Gane's fingers were all up in his face on the first takedown attempt, and please tell me why he poked him the second time. That's what I would like to know from you, because everybody keeps putting the onus on Tom Aspinall. Jew, he did quit. It was more so because he couldn't see out one eye and didn't want to go out and lose his belt. Stakes are high. It's not smart to risk it. Might as well call it rest up rematch. Okay, all right. Do we got to call it quit though, Jew? You could call it whatever you want, Jew. I'll let you call it whatever the fuck you want. But it's like, shit. Call it what you want. But did he make the right call? I think so. At the end of the day, I think so. Hampton Hudson goes, Gina, nah, just pretty good at reading body language. It's not rocket science. Yo, what up, Turtle? Turtle in the chat. Well, let's legalize eye poke, and seems like that is very effective. I just saw a video where Cejudo says he still has a hole in his eye from the Song fight. Damn, Louis. Okay. Well, then there you go, man. This shit ain't no joke, man, but nobody talks about it, right? Nobody talks about it. And imagine if Cejudo would have kept fighting Song Yadong, right? What if Cejudo would have kept fighting Song Yadong? His eye would have been so fucked. And that's, I think, the thing that Tuxedo is forgetting about, too. Tuxedo, if Tom's eye is compromised because of an illegal foul from Ciryl Gane, there's no reason why Tom is obligated to subject himself to further damage, bro. Why is he obligated to subject himself to further damage when you just got your eye illegally fucking gouged and potentially injured? Now you're going to subject yourself to further damage off of something that shouldn't have even happened in the first place. That's not his obligation. It's not his obligation. Gi grabbing and hair pulling. I mean, it sucks because we didn't get to see it play out, but we are getting a way better fight after this, lol. That's a silver lining, Jew. That is a silver lining. And bro, we've been talking about this ever since the fight. Like, every headline is about Tom Aspinall. UFC pretends to be a premier sport like NFL and NBA, but they act so amateur at the same time. Bane. I think this must have been when I was on that rant, huh? Yeah, Bane, because I feel like I was thinking this in my head while I was on that rant. You know? You want to be this fucking official thing, then start acting like it. They did have all that stuff. They even had nut shots in the early MMA fights, Louis. You could hit people in the balls and poke them in... Oh, no, you just couldn't poke them in the eye. See what I mean, though? From the beginning of time, the only thing you couldn't do was poke people in the eye, I think. Like, you could even hit them in the nuts. Chris says Anthony Smith passed a full eye exam before continuing. They held up fingers and he answered correctly every time. Yeah, shout out to Anthony Smith. And some fighters still showed up with long hair even though it could be legally grabbed. They did. There was no mouthpieces either back in the early days. Lots of casuals agree with Hampton. Hey, shout out Bane. Chris, his eye was swollen from strikes, not eye gouges. Chris, you're talking about Anthony Smith then? Because you've been on Tom's side heavy. So I know you're not talking about Tom. But hey, Tuxedo getting some likes on his comments. I see 3 likes here. I see 2 likes. I see 2 likes. Would Dana White keep gambling at the blackjack table if he couldn't see? Gina says probably not, but it wouldn't stop him boinking ring girls, would it? You guys see that video of Dana White, like, talking to a cocktail waitress? He's like, hey, baby. Thanks, baby. It's like, dude, stop calling her baby, bro. You're married with kids. Calling a cocktail waitress at a casino baby. You know how many other dudes are calling her baby? It's almost savage, like, to say, go fight with one eye. That's ultimately on the person. I can't fault people for stopping, and I can't fault people for continuing. I don't think it's right or wrong. There we go, Jew. There we go. Sometimes it's not about belonging to a side, you know what I mean? It's just about treating the fighter somewhat fairly, you know what I mean? And almost putting yourself in their position a little bit. And then you can land on whatever side that puts you on. But I think first and foremost, we should be treating the fighters fairly. And that means, right? Like I say, with the guys like John Jones, Dustin Poirier, who would have fought, Yuri Prohaska, who would have fought, that's good for you. That's good on you. That is fine on you. And I'm not going to say you're wrong, but you guys can't fault Tom for what he did, because actually that is the decision that will make your career last longer from a health perspective. Who would wait 5 minutes to see they couldn't see if that was the case? Hold it. Hold it in for 5 minutes, quote unquote, Jew. That's what I'm saying, bro. If he couldn't fucking see, then he couldn't fucking see. And why are we fucking reading so much into it? He said he can't see. All right, I think we should just leave it at that. He said he can't see. I believe he couldn't see then, so that's why he's saying he couldn't see. Haha, that often doesn't work very well. Bro, eye pains and discomforts are the worst. Casual MMA says he is a liar. Chris goes, accidental, come on, we have the technology. We say him finger Tom in 8K knuckle deep. We did see that. We saw him do that. They knew this was going to happen. They discussed prior to the fight, if he cheats, quit the fight. Bro, this is so funny, Casual MMA. Come on, bro. Wait, Casual, are you this guy? Casual. Casual, do not tell me you're this dude. I've been flexing your screenshot for ever since the fight happened. Casual, don't tell me this is you. Do we have the Casual MMA in the chat right now? Do we have the Casual MMA in the chat right now? That's what I want to know. But it's like, Casual, bro. Come on, man. You're going to go more on that narrative than the narrative that Ciryl Gane's team told him that go ahead, poke this guy on the first takedown attempt, get him guessing, discourage him from further takedown attempts. You don't think that was the case? You're really going to go on that side? That's fucked. And this can't be you if this was your post. It actually can't be you. So you guys just share the same name. Tuxedo Mask. I got answers. Ciryl poked him because framing with an open palm is more effective than framing with a closed palm. Tuxedo, you better still be in here. So what exactly was he framing here, Tuxedo? What exactly was he framing here? He already threw the kick and then he throws a fucking finger. So I don't know. So the millions of people who bought the pay-per-view get stiff because his little eye hurt. So this is, again, the show goes on mentality from Casual MMA. This is the show goes on mentality. Bro, at the end of the day, your $60 or $79, right, will be made back within a day. Tom Aspinall, if he suffers life-altering damage, it's exactly what I just said, life-altering damage. It sticks with him for life. So yeah, anybody who lost $79, I can't believe you even paid for it anyway, right? But if you did pay for it, I guess it's not like your $70 is worth more than Tom Aspinall's fucking life. So again, I can't back that, Casual. I can't back that. Like I think it's a better call. Dana has to pay Gane twice for what? He should be livid with him. If you wanted the fight to continue, you wouldn't say something that would jeopardize the fight like I can't see until you had waited the maximum amount of time for your vision to come back. Gina tells Tuxedo an open palm can be flat. It doesn't have to be pointed. Gane's was. Tuxedo goes, what if his vision came back after 4 minutes, but it ended because he said, I can't see in 2 minutes? This shit's getting in the weeds, boys. This shit's getting in the weeds. Casual MMA going, because people pay money to see you fight, you have to be a professional. Yeah, but you don't have to fucking ruin your life. You know what I mean? For the $60 you spent, for the $79 you spent. He's not, but I'm saying he had time to see if his vision would come back, but he did not want that time because he wanted out of the fight ASAP. Such a controversial topic, says Drew. I think this is the most fuss I've ever seen about an eye poke in the sport. This is crazy. I'm over here literally just reading the debate and debating back with you guys all fucking stream right now. I did not expect this, but I am enjoying it. And Tuxedo Mask, all right, bro, all right. I'm not, you know what I mean? You're entitled to this opinion. Like, I'm gonna let you have it. I see that you're not trying to be super mad at Tom. I do see that. It seems like you're not trying to completely disrespect him, but you are disappointed that he said he couldn't see and he didn't get the full 5 minutes. I guess that's what you're disappointed in. Gina calls Tuxedo Mr. Mind Reader, LOL. Too good. Let bro be a billionaire and enjoy life. If only Dana's wife could utilize eye pokes. Dana's a billionaire acting like a bum with that waitress video. LOL. Dude, Dana, I don't like how I hate saying shit like this, but I'm gonna just say it anyway. The thing that annoys me most about Dana is like he's going on 60 and he's kicking it with like 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds. Like, bro. Dana should start a new league called Poke where they just eye poke until they can't see anymore. Eye health is literally degenerative. Your best vision is when you are born. Hey, that's a good insight. I wasn't referring to holding eye pain in, LOL. Something else you are often told to hold in. Damn, Gina. Gina getting dirty in the chat. Unless I'm reading that wrong, Gina. Yo, what up, M-Gal? Back for the second day in a row. He got poked badly. Tuxedo says, I'm still here. He was framing the counter. Bro, Tuxedo. All right, bro. You got reasons for Ciryl Gane for everything. What I'm supposed to say? What I'm supposed to say to you, Tuxedo? Tuxedo, I think you already been subscribed, no? You could let me know that if you've been subscribed or not. Tuxedo Ermeyer. Go watch Power Slap. Then I streamed it and still want my money back. LOL, Chris. Oh, Louis going. The fighters who do this know the slightly angled fingers help the fingers slide into the eye sockets. They know what they're doing. That's why they don't go flat palm, huh? That's why they, like, it's just like more surface area to hit them fucking eyeballs. Gina going off on Tuxedo. Tom wanted out. Gane was framing. I really do think you have a future as a mind reader, Mr. Tuxedo. LOL. I know what I'm supposed to say to Tuxedo, bro. Tuxedo got a fucking point for everything. Usually I'm the one with the point for everything. Wilfred Placentia. Quit or not, I wonder how long they'll ride the eye poke train. See, so are they riding the eye poke train? I guess they are a little bit. They are a little bit. With this update today and shit like that, they're just making it known. But again, I guess everybody's saying he quit, so they're going to keep fucking clapping back. Power poke. Louis says, as long as your fingers are not straight, you can pretend you're just framing fairly. Yeah, bro, that's what they do. It's a sport first, then entertainment. How many fucking fights did Tom win in an empty arena during COVID? Nobody cared who Ciryl was until he put on the poke from Chris. Power Poke's numbers are already bigger than every sport in the world combined times a million. Bane already quoting Dana White promoting that shit. Oh, Chris tells me keep watching. Tom didn't even know his nose was bleeding. Everybody wants to know though. Okay, so we'll keep watching this. Tuxedo again. Thank you for the donation, Tuxedo. I am MMA lawyer. Oh shit, Tuxedo. All right, bro. All right. Hey, stay subscribed, Tuxedo, and we got to stay in contact. I need a lawyer. I need a lawyer on hand to help me break down some of these legal cases that go on in MMA. So, Tuxedo, I love having you in the chat now. I mean, I already did. But even more so, another reason why we need Tuxedo, even though he's controversial, even though he's going against the grain, I value his opinion. Was it an eye poke? Definitely. Can he not see clearly at that time? Probably. The real question now is how long they'll ride the train, because unless Tom gets blind, he'll definitely have to fight. Yeah, man. True. And I don't think Tom's going to go blind. It's coming back, and I want to see Tom fight before the end of this year. Like, please, bro, please. Gane was scared shitless of the onslaught he was about to relive. He went into panic mode. He ain't no lawyer. He would have said attorney. All right, Chris. All right. Tuxedo, you got something to say back to that? Chris don't believe you're a fucking lawyer. Let's keep watching. I gotta go turn off the AC real quick. I'm getting cold.
But if you can do that, I had a friend, an old friend of mine who's a Goju karate specialist, an older guy like me, and he said that was an intentional eye poke. What's intentional? What's accidental? It was definitely an eye poke, and the 4 fingers went towards his eyes, so one of those 4 is going to hit him in one eye somewhere. It wasn't a 1 finger, it was a...
But it wasn't his first attempt of doing that.
Second attempt in that fight, Tom went for a takedown and got poked in the eye. So if a guy's defending like that, he should be taught not to defend like that.
We found a video of basically from that first round with Gane's sort of finger pokes. Just want you to watch it if you can see, and just sort of explain what's going on.
Two, 3, 4, 5.
So what have you just seen there?
I've just seen that every time his hand comes out, it does this. And it's wrong. Nobody ever punches... I've never seen anybody in the UFC yet, I can't think, who instead of punching somebody, does this. Never seen it. A slap. It's happened maybe. But so you should do this. So when your hand leaves your side, even if you're blocking, you should learn to block. I know you block like this in Thai boxing. I know, I've done it. But when
I turn these nuts. Oh, that's too good. That's too good, boys. That's too good. Well played. Too good. Oh boy, I had to just pause it just for that. Too good.
When your hand goes out to hit somebody, your hand should never go out like this. And they say, keep your fingers up, but it's hard. People can't bend their fingers up like this.
And I just got to say it again. Thank you, Tuxedo, for the $2 donation. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate all the donations. If I missed any of them, for all 5, I appreciate all of them. Thank you, Tuxedo.
So, and you got gloves on, stopping you bend your fingers up. So your fingers are going to go out like this. Your hand should go out like this. It's just my opinion. I don't run the sport, but the sport, when is it going to change it? It's probably never going to change it.
It says there 10 fingers and 4 eye pokes in that first round.
This is random, but Louis, can we sign up Anthony Smith for like the beta testing on a power poke? I want Anthony Smith to be like the test dummy to see whether or not power poke would work or not, since he had so much to say about Tom Aspinall.
Altogether, what do you do to prepare for that? What do you do going forward when Dana White says the words, he doesn't give a shit?
What does it take to make an eye poke intentional, and is there even a way you could ever prove that?
Who the knows? Who gives a shit?
My thing is I go in the gym every day for 2 or 3 hours in the morning. And
we give a shit. All right? We give a shit. We do.
Coach fighters, and then I teach jiu-jitsu at night, and I love the sport. And then I go to the fights with Tom, and the process is great, and he has a fight, and that's the sport, and that's how he gets paid, and that's his job. And then after the fight, it goes down a bit, we have a few weeks off, and then we're back in the gym again and doing the same again, and I like that. And that's my thing that I've done with my son since he was 7 or 8 years old, and I enjoy it. The other stuff around it is just noise. And when other people come up and, you know, it's sometimes ex-fighters who, well, I got poked in the eye and I did this. How do you, when somebody pokes you in the eye, how do you know it's a good poke or a bad poke? How do you know it's a significant poke? How do you know if it's deliberate? The doctor yesterday said, Tom showed the video, and the guy, can you show me a bit more? So we went through the video with him, and he said, I've took people's eye out, because people have gone like that, and hit their eye, and it's bust their eye, and they've no eye and they're blind. So it's an issue if the UFC want it to be an issue. There's nothing we can do about it, but this is, I don't know if it's the first title fight, but this has highlighted at a high level in the sport that it's dangerous. If they want to do something about it, they should. If they care about people, they should. And it's back to everybody has opinions. Everybody needs money as well. So it's about, you know, I don't have to say what I say or do what I do to report back to shareholders to make money for a company. I do this because it's a sport. I want to do it with my son. I want to spend time with my kids. That's why I do it. The other people who are doing it to report back to shareholders at the highest level because it's part of a company. And then they're doing it, most of the people online are doing it, the analysts, the ex-fighters, the YouTube makers are doing it because they make a video and that video makes them money. So it's about money. And then the people who've got opinions, if they think they're right, then they're entitled to their opinion. But I don't read it and I don't care about it.
Shall we talk about the actual fight? Because obviously a lot of people have said that Tom was losing, Tom didn't want to continue.
This is where it's about to get real juicy. For sure about to get real juicy. Shout out to the pup. But I just wanted to put it out there. So Tom's dad thinks that, I guess they don't want to, is he insinuating they don't want to fix the eye pokes and shit like that because of the shareholders and whatnot? And if you make stuff more straightforward, DQ and stuff like that, that could affect profits as far as like future events. And they'd rather just operate on a system of these fighters choosing to entertain over their fucking future health. That doesn't sound right to me. I mean, like, if you're asking what doesn't sound right to me, if that is the UFC's MO as to why they don't give a shit about eye pokes, quoting Dana White, if that's why he says, I don't give a shit about eye pokes because that's code for we're not going to change anything because that's going to affect our finances, then that's disgusting, bro. That's disgusting. I think that's what his dad is saying. But now they're about to talk about people saying he quit. So this is perfect for Tuxedo. Perfect for some of the other people in the chat right now. So let's hear about his dad addressing, you know, the quit narratives, shall we?
You.
We can go from the training first.
Yeah.
We train really hard and loads of cardio for this fight. And on the video that you made, you hear me and Stipe, who was holding pads for Tom all through the training camp, say, go out there, take your time and enjoy the fight. And Tom had gone 5 rounds, stood on his head. That wouldn't have been an issue doing 5 rounds.
He was smiling at one
And
point.
every person who's trained with Tom, ask them, can he do 5 rounds? It's not an issue to do 5 rounds. So this time, because all the superstars on the TV go, Aspinall can't go 5 rounds, what's going to happen when it gets to the 2nd round? What's going to happen when it gets to the 3rd round? You'll see, because he's going to go out there and show you.
And Tom had always said as well, he thinks at least 3 rounds with Ciryl.
He wanted to do the rounds.
He never said. He never came out once.
We wanted to do the rounds.
Yeah.
Those people who think he can't box, back to my thing saying boxing, that's about money. But go and ask Peter Fury. renowned world-class trainer. Go and ask Dennis Crowell, Rico's coach, whether Tom Aspinall can box at a good level. He can box.
Okay, I'm sure Tom can box at a good level, but can he go, 12 3-minute rounds or even 10 3-minute rounds? Okay, that's 5 minutes more than an MMA fight if you're talking 10. And we're talking 11 minutes more than an MMA fight, right? If we're talking 12. So can he go 12 or 10 rounds, 3 minutes each, right? All upper body, right? All shooting from the shoulders, no takedowns, no leg kicks, right? It's different. And that's what I'm trying to explain to some people who just think that like MMA fighters can cross over. It's a completely different thing. And anybody who does any type of exercise, any type of martial art even, okay, if you go from jiu-jitsu, right, to boxing, you could not get tired in jiu-jitsu class because you train that shit every day. The second you go to boxing, you're going to get tired in there because it's a different type of cardio. If you ever do exercise like weightlifting or something like that, right, if you try a new workout, it's hard as fuck. So like going and doing 12 or 10 rounds, 3 minutes each is essentially like a new workout. You feel me? Like that shit ain't gonna hit. Like you can't just go in there and do that one time and think that like you're supposed to perform. Like you got to go and get like five of those under your belt, bro. Like maybe 5 8-round fights or something like that. Like you got to get that shit under your belt. It's not as much about, oh yeah, he kicked it with the Furies and he trained with the Furies and he was hitting pads with them and he sparred a few rounds with them. No, bro. 12-ounce gloves, right? 12-ounce gloves. You fight in 5s. 12-ounce gloves. Okay? 10 to 12 rounds. An extra 5 to 11 minutes of fight time. Can you do all that? You know what I mean? Because you're not even used to shooting from the shoulders for 25 minutes. Okay? Let alone shooting from the shoulders for 30 to 36 minutes. I know I went off on a tangent about the boxing. I know he's talking about, you know, how he would have actually, you know, wanted to go at least 3 rounds with Ciryl Gane. So I don't know what the boys have to say to this, but this is his response to people saying he quit. He wanted to go at least 3 rounds with Ciryl Gane.
What do you think then to that first round, seeing how Tom did? Obviously took the hit early on.
Ciryl Gane and his coaches, they're good. They had Ngannou, who's world champion, Nasruddin, whatever he's called, who's at the top, and Ciryl who's at the top. So the team that he's got obviously know what they're doing. So Ciryl knows that Tom blitzes in, and Tom knows that Tom blitzes in. So this time he threw some single kicks, which he doesn't usually do. But the other fighters he's fought, where he's blitzed in and touched them, they've fallen over. As he blitzed in this time, Ciryl stuck his hand out or stuck his leg out. And we knew he was going to do that. So do it a few times, kick him a few times. Go for the takedown, up, down. Khabib said the same thing in the dressing room. And the game plan was to keep going, touch him, up, down, move around, and push the pace and see how it goes. That was the game plan for the fight.
And I still want to see that game plan executed against Gane. Because I do still think, you know what I mean? Not that I think this will happen, but I just have a question and I would like to see it happen and see how the fighters react to it. I want to see if Ciryl Gane, right, will end up somehow folding to the pressure of Tom Aspinall over the course of 5 rounds. That's what I want to see. It's almost like for certain now that Ciryl Gane can come out and get ahead and win the fight to start. Right? We can almost, like we saw that for the first 5 minutes. But that's only one part of the equation here. The other part is, can you keep that up for 25 minutes? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And that's what I want to see. You know, because Andy's talking about it right here. Yeah, Ciryl was probably going to start off strong. We were going to try to push the pace, fake takedown attempts, level change. You know what I mean? Strike with him a little bit. Push that pace. Make him fight the whole MMA fight for 25 minutes and see how much he can hang. Now, Ciryl Gane did go 25 minutes with Francis Ngannou, but I don't know. I guess the reason why I want to see it with Aspinall and Gane is because that way I can know, does Aspinall have this ungodly-like power when he touches you or not? That's because people think that. People think Ciryl Gane, or Tom Aspinall has ungodly-like power when he connects. And so I want to see that. I want to see that played out over 5 rounds and see if he ends up rocking Ciryl Gane, if he doesn't. You know? If he takes down Ciryl Gane and controls him, how does Ciryl Gane get up and keep fighting after that? All these things I want to know. We're going to finish this video and then we're going to read more of the chats, all right? Because we've been just going for an hour 49 minutes and we still haven't finished this 23-minute video.
Not that game plans work all the time, they're just game plans. But go out there and show you've got a lot of skill and enjoy it. Enjoy the fight.
And what was Tom's words to us the day, well, I think it was in the hospital, what did he say about that hit that he took on his face?
Yeah. He said, did you know that you'd got a burst nose? He goes, no, I thought it was sweat. So Tom bursts his nose quite often.
The adrenaline.
Yeah, it's just a burst nose. So what? Madness.
But that just shows the standard that Tom's at, that people think that he takes one hit and that he's in deep waters.
Yes, yeah. So, okay, all right, boys, all right. And this is a shout out to my boy Tuxedo, okay? Because you boys are saying, oh, he wanted out of that fight, his nose was busted. Okay, and his dad is saying, bro, he didn't even know his nose was busted. So it's like, what? Like, come on now. This is why you can't assume shit, because you're going to look like an asshole. And I'm not saying Tuxedo looks like an asshole, all right? But that is the saying when it comes to assuming things, right? You're going to make an ass out of yourself, right, for assuming. So you really got to refrain from assuming things because the information's going to come out, especially everybody be assuming, right? Everybody be assuming. And then if these guys know the truth, they're going to come out and say it. Because why wouldn't they? Everybody's already putting their narratives online. So here, let them clear it up. Since you want to poke the holes and ask the questions and insinuate things, okay, well then here's the truth, right? And then now you look like an asshole.
You only have to look at his...
Because, like, I'm going to say it one more time. Tom didn't know his nose was even bleeding. So everybody who says, oh, Tom knew his nose was busted and he was looking for a way out, he didn't know his nose was busted. He didn't know that.
He is to know whether Tom can take a punch.
It's just... That's the world we live in. Mad. People see a tiny, tiny, minute bit of what happens in Tom's life. The commentators who commentate, the analysts who do the YouTube channels, know one fraction of one tiny percentage of Tom Aspinall, but they think they know him. They don't. The people who are in the gym every day will know him quite a lot better, and I know him better than anybody. He's not a giver-upper. That's not in his nature to give anything up.
Has Ciryl Gane reached out to him?
No. Unless he didn't tell me yesterday. I've not seen him this morning. But no, I don't think he has. No. And that's Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane has kind of come out of it. Because Tom ran through a load of heavyweights, they think Tom Aspinall had a bad fight because for 4 minutes, Ciryl Gane jabbed him a few times. So what? That's a fight. That's what happens in a fight. A fight is a fight is a fight. You know, Tom beat Volkov quickly and never got touched. Ciryl Gane fought Volkov last and lost, in my opinion, and went 3 rounds. You can't. It's apples and pears. You can't compare one to the other. It's just a fight, and whatever happens in a fight happens. Just because John Jones beat him in 2 minutes doesn't mean that if Tom doesn't beat him in 2 minutes, he's less a fighter than John Jones. But people think that, and that's how mad the world is.
Just on that, with not hearing from Ciryl, how do you see things being left with Tom and Ciryl?
It's just sport. Tom's not bothered. He was just fouled, and he's pissed off, sad, upset, whatever the words are, that he didn't get to show how good a fighter he was.
Just to sort of bring it all to a close, more tests and...
Yeah, we left the hospital yesterday. It's now Tuesday morning. We went to the hospital Monday evening and saw a private guy who said that the tests need to be more conclusive. So Moyes, who's the doctor who used the UFC use, is talked to some people at Bolton who should send Tom some details today with a further appointment for further tests with different machines that they didn't have at the hospital and to have a CT scan. But he thinks the CT scan will be all right because he didn't touch his bones, it was straight in his eye. It might show some old injuries, who knows, but they're just still bothered about the tests. And basically they just said, your eye is if there's any eye doctors watching it or any eye experts or some daft people who comment about eyes, you know, if your eye hurts, there's only you know how much it hurts. People say to me about Tom, was he nervous? And I go, I don't know. He told me he was all right. Whether he was nervous or not, I don't know that. When somebody's hurt or somebody dies, somebody looks terribly upset. The other person doesn't look upset, but they might be more upset than them, but they don't cry. I don't know how he is. I hope he's all right. He's my son. That's all I'm bothered about.
All right, good shit from the Aspinalls. Good shit from them. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Shout out to everybody watching. Like the stream if you haven't already. I mean, if we could get 10 likes, that would be amazing. We're at 6 right now. So 10 likes in the chat. I would love that. And then I'll read some of the chats right now. See what you guys think of everything. But I already saw Tuxedo's dono and fucking response, so let me read it. $2 from Tuxedo once again. Thank you, Tuxedo. He goes, oh, so I give you donos, but now I'm an asshole, eh? That's why I said, Tuxedo, I said, all right, you're not an asshole. But that's how the saying goes, Tuxedo. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at the saying, okay? The saying goes, if you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Right? Because you're assuming shit about me, making me look like an asshole. And then as soon as I come out and I explain the truth, now you look like the asshole. So that's what it's called. You know what I mean? If you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. It's exactly how it's spelled. All right? That's the pun of the day. Shout out to Tuxedo. All right, let's read some of these. And then I'm going to read these for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes or so. And then I want us to watch the Bryce Mitchell thing too before it's too late. Because I eventually got to go. But, I mean, I'm feeling the love. So I'm going to stay. Let me see here. So Wilfred says, was it an eye poke? Oh, no, that wasn't it. Okay, we left off here. Two things can be true at the same time, Wilfred says. Tom definitely got poked in the eye, but he was also definitely not looking good at the end there. Gane was looking sharp. Yeah, but see, and yes, Wilfred, two things are true, right? And I think where people are adding to it is they're thinking, well, since Gane was looking good and Tom wasn't looking good, he was looking for a way out. So you know what I mean? Like, I think we should just leave it at that. Like, I've been saying that too. Do I think Tom was getting his ass beat? Low-key, I do think he was getting his ass beat by Tom. Or by Ciryl, you know? But do I think that Tom got poked in the eye pretty badly? Yeah, I do. Like, I think Tom got poked in the eye badly, and I think he was getting his ass beat. And I don't think we need to start, you know, drawing conclusions from that. Chris, read the room. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Does he have special eyes? He does say he fights through eye pokes, Louis says. Anthony Smith probably got special eyes, yeah. No one mentions eye protectors from Gina. Gina, we can't be having these boys wearing goggles. We can't. Chris goes, go blind for my money, but don't leave to box for your money. Chris, that's excellent. Well put. Go blind for my $80, right? but don't leave to go make 50 million. But don't stop fighting because I paid $80. So, okay, so Chris goes, eye protectors would be an even bigger hazard. Gina goes, would they? Let me quote something. And she goes, recommended sports eye protectors, more than 43,300 people each year are treated for eye injuries related to sports activities. Damn, so eye protectors would result in like 4,300 less fucking injuries. Bane says, you know what else affects profit? Being a shitty company. Damn, Bane is pissed off at the UFC. Louis says, yes, they don't want a bunch of fights ending in DQs because it might make the fans who spend money have negative ideas about the UFC. Yeah, I hear that. But then at the same time, like, my thing would be, again, they overthink this shit. It's like, bro, fights are ending in no contests anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, the only difference is, like, Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane would have ended anyway. The only difference is it would have been a DQ. This is the reason why they're going to Disney Paramount with limited pay-per-views. If they don't sell out, they increase the ticket sales to set records for sales from Chris. Imagine Aspinall versus Ngannou in boxing, Tuxedo. It's like, bro, if they're going to run it in boxing, they should have ran it in fucking MMA. James Barrett telling me I suck, or I don't know who he's telling sucks, but what up, James? How are you? I'm good, James. I'm good. I'm glad to see you in the chat right now. I've been missing you, brother. I've been missing you. We're live every night, James. You're supposed to be here more often. Hope you're doing good, James. I hope you're doing good. Chris says 25 minutes versus 36 minutes with gloves. No grappling, way more breaks though. Yeah, Chris, but here's the thing, right? I'm not saying either one's harder, right? But I'm saying what you're not used to will be harder. So if you're an MMA fighter coming into boxing, right, that's going to be harder for you. And if you're a boxer coming into MMA, that's going to be harder for you. Because you're dealing with new things. You're dealing with new rule sets. You know, your body's readjusting to a whole new workout. So, yeah. Not one is harder than the other. It's just that whatever you specialize in, it's going to be harder whatever you're not specialized in. And so, again, to wrap up that point, it's just like, bro, Tom can't expect to succeed in boxing if he hasn't even completed, like, multiple 8-round fights. Like, just being honest with you. Tom got a solid jaw and no CTE. He hasn't been hit his whole career. That's true, Chris. He could take a shot for sure, but he might just be a human punching bag in a boxing ring if he's not careful. I think the best possible thing that Tom can do right now is to be present and assure everyone that he wants to fight as soon as possible when he is good to go. Wilfred, you've been dropping some gems in the chat. Wilfred, you better be subscribed as well. We're live every night, Wilfred, and I got 11 likes on the night, so thank you, boys and gals. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. But yeah, Wilfred been dropping some gems. And Wilfred, I would have to agree with you. The only thing I would add, Wilfred, is I would also like to see Ciryl Gane. I would like to see Ciryl Gane stand up and say, hey guys, stop giving Tom shit. I want to take, ownership of fouling him in the first place. If I didn't foul him, the fight would have continued, and stop giving him shit for it. I need to be in better control of my weapons. And this, I'm going to try my best for this not to happen in the rematch. I think they should both come out and give statements. I don't want to hear from fucking Fernand, and I don't want to hear from Andy anymore. I've heard enough from both of them. Chris thinks Tom's boxing would be better when he doesn't have to worry about the aspects of MMA. Well, fair enough. We got to see it. I think Tom should do more of his MMA career first, though. 5 fights down the line, let's talk about it. Not this scenario wherein he seems to be hiding and absent, letting his father do the talking. What the fuck? Wilfred, you will appreciate the early parts of this stream. I was questioning it. I was like, are you guys tired of hearing from Tom's dad? Everybody's telling me, nah, bro, he's just being a good father and all that stuff. And I agreed, and I changed my stance, and I said, all right, I would just rather hear from Tom. That's where I'm getting at. Like, I don't want to hear from his dad as much. I'd rather hear from Tom himself. So, Wilfred, I actually said what you said in this comment, like, probably an hour ago. In a rematch, what would happen if Gane eye pokes again, Gina? Well, dude, we're not playing this game, right? If Ciryl Gane eye pokes again, we're not continuing. We're not going to keep doing this. Or we're going to continue and immediately poke his ass back and see what the fuck happens. You know? Ciryl Gane went to split decision with literal blobs. Tom knocked people over with a grazing blow. My boy Chris loves Tom Aspinall, I gotta say. My boy Chris loves Tom Aspinall. Gina goes, Ngannou just changed tactics against Gane. He kept taking him down and it worked. But he lost the first 2 rounds. Yeah, Ngannou did go to the wrestling approach. He was not going to outstrike Gane. He was laughing and spinning with a bloody face. Kevin from Chicago, he didn't know that question mark. Are you trolling? Drew goes, I'm sure he knows bust is anything new to him. Chris, blood don't hurt. I've done worse with a big bag of dust or a hard sneeze. Jesus, Chris. Louis says, Ciryl Gane loses a lot of power in his overhand. He turns his arm and knuckles so far over. He misaligns his arm bones and knuckles and loses a lot of power. So Chris is giving us a lesson on boxing right now. Or sorry, Louis is. This is what I wanted to get to, though. Kevin from Chicago. You think he didn't know his nose was leaking like a faucet? You have to be insane, bruv. Like, for real, dog. Disappointed in you. Kevin, what am I supposed to say? I'm supposed to call Andy Aspinall a liar? That's the alternative. If Andy Aspinall is saying this, I'm not going to call these guys liars, bro. I cannot do that. How am I supposed to call them a liar? I'm taking them at face value, okay? And I know that seems like, ill-advised, and I don't do that for everything. You'll see. You got to stick around long enough on these streams. I'm live every night, all right? But you need to stick around long enough because I do take things at face value, It doesn't just mean I'm going to agree with everything, but I need proof that Andy's lying, bro. If I don't have proof, I can't say he's lying, Kevin from Chicago. All right? So I'm sorry I disappointed you. Okay, but I would be willing to walk it back if we find out that Andy Aspinall is a liar. Then I will go ahead and question this. But give me proof Andy Aspinall is a liar first. Chris says, again, Chris backing up his boy Tom, saying the blood is body temperature, you can't really feel it. Gina says, of course, Gane has reached out to Tom with his fingers aiming at his eyes. That's not what I'm talking about, Gina. He needs to fucking make a social media post and stick up for Tom. Wilfred, Tom got poked in the eye. He didn't lose a limb or vanish into oblivion. Best he can do is be present and assure he wants to fight as soon as possible when he's good to go. Not this hiding shit. Wilfred, I agree, dude. I definitely agree. Kevin from Chicago, Gane is the first fighter he's fought that isn't a big stiff idiot. Heavyweight is a laughing stock. The guy is literally heel hooking 4 slobs in a row. Kevin, we agree on that one. Heavyweight is not the best right now. Shout out all the boys in the chat. What up, AJD? What up, AJD? I'm just acknowledging some of the new people in the chat right now. We got AJD. We got Benjamin Freeman. Let me read Benjamin. It's so obvious that he pokes. It's so obvious that he eye pokes. Should actually be penalized. Do away with judging someone's intentions. Just a simple penalty. Benjamin, yeah, we agree here. We agree with you. Or at least a few people do. Not Kevin. And probably not Tuxedo either. Bro, what the hell just happened? But yeah, shout out everybody in the chat. And before, you know, I gotta go soon. I'm loving reading the chats, but let me just let's play this Bryce Mitchell breaking his nose clip, because I got something to say about it. Here it is on my homepage. He posted another video too. Perfect. 2 videos. We love a good Bryce Mitchell video. Tuxedo. Another $2 dono. Love you, Tuxedo. You fucking are paying my rent, bro. And it's almost the first, Tuxedo. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I think the sport needs more eye pokes. All right, Tuxedo. All right, let's go. I knew you were a proponent of it. All right, let's watch Bryce Mitchell with his busted nose.
Thirsty, Arkansas right now. I need my nose straightened out. I just got it broken. It's you can tell, you know, it's sideways or whatever, but dude, the doctors are so expensive. They're like $2,000 or some shit just to set my nose. Can somebody in Cersei, by the grace of God, please set my nose back straight for free? If you could fix my nose for free in Cersei, Arkansas right now, send me a message, and I'll probably go to you instead of the doctor, because this is probably going to be like thousands of dollars, and it'll just have to be pulled and put back straight, you know. So if y'all can help, let me know. Thank you.
That thing is busted up, completely sideways. And Strickland, I even like this comment already, but Strickland goes, well, I was wrong. You have to have a fight booked to get medical from the UFC, LMAO. What a joke. I've actually heard from fighters in the past, you need to have, the injury has to have happened inside the octagon. Even if you have a fight booked, because Josiah Harrell, right, he had a fight booked. He got pulled from a fight because he had Moya Moya. And it wasn't covered by the UFC's insurance, because that Moya Moya didn't occur in the octagon, regardless of if he had a fight booked or not. So that's just one thing I know. I don't know, like, if you got a fight booked, maybe. But I'm saying, like, one guy had a fight booked. He got pulled. He had to have brain surgery, and it wasn't covered by the UFC's insurance. I think it's crazy that these fighters can be training for fights and all this stuff, even if there's nothing booked. But the UFC isn't going to cover a broken nose like this. But again, they want to act like the NBA, the NFL, and all these things, you know? If you break your nose at an NBA practice, the team is fixing that shit, right? But if you break your nose in an MMA practice, nah, it didn't happen in the cage. Come on now, dude. This is some bullshit. This is some bullshit, bro. The fact that Bryce Mitchell got to go get some junkyard dog in Cirksey, Arkansas to do it for him instead of fucking a certified doctor is crazy. It's crazy. And the UFC should be stepping and be like, no, we'll fix this for you, bro. We'll fix this real quick. Here's the latest.
Hey, I wanted to let y'all know I'm doing really good, and I wasn't in any pain at all, so that was really good. For whatever reason, it just didn't hurt the whole time. But I was worried because I didn't know exactly what to do, and I didn't know if it would ever come back straight again. And that was my main concern, but I'm totally healed. Thank the Lord. God, thank you so much for healing me. And also, I apologize for looking like a cheapskate, because right when that happened, my brain went to primal survival instinct, and I started thinking, oh man, this is going to be expensive. This is going to be, what have I done here? This is going to be thousands of dollars to fix. And it's a shame that that's where my brain went to. But that was my main concern, and my buddy did fix it for free. But I'm going to try not to be a cheapskate next time. And, you know, I've been to the doctor, and honestly have not had a problem paying with what I've been charged. One time I got a big piece of wood stuck in my hand, and it was only $600 to get it out, and it was worth it. When I ripped my nuts in half, it was only $1,250. That was the best $1,250 I ever spent. So I really do feel like I was being a cheapskate, asking everybody to do it. If somebody could help me out so I could save like $1,000. But my buddy Josh did help me out, and I did save like $1,000. So thank you, God, and thank you, Josh King, and thank all y'all for your concerns. God bless you.
Well, shout out to Josh. Yeah, his nose looks 10 times better than in that first one. Looks straight again. Shout out to Josh. My man got it done for free. Didn't have to pay shit. Good on you, Bryce. Now just please don't spar, you know what I mean, and let that shit heal. But, I mean, I'm just an average dude. I ain't no fighter. I'd be like, yo, I ain't getting my nose touched for like 8 fucking weeks. I ain't getting it touched, meaning I'm not even stepping in the gym and training. Not even jiu-jitsu. That'll be me. Here he is. I'm doing great. Thank you all. I'm ready to fight when they call. Don't worry, the show must go on. Shout out to Tom Aspinall on that one. Show must go on, huh? Every fighter is different, though. Some of these guys are just junkyard dogs. Some aren't. You know, it doesn't mean anybody's right or wrong. Everybody has a personal preference. But my gosh, dude. I mean, what else are you going to do? The doctor would have done the same thing, just reset it. So if the UFC didn't pay for this, okay, but luckily he got that shit fixed. Take some balls to let someone do that for you, though. I'll say that. Just like a homie. All right, guys. But to be real with you guys, I got to go. I mean, shit. I mean, I could come back on here. We could just keep the live going, but I don't think we're going to do that. I got to go fucking get some kush from the clinic. I'm going to be real with you guys. I got to go get some kush from the clinic. It closes in 15 minutes. I got to get out of here now. You feel me? Would I like to leave this live running and just come back in like 20 minutes and keep chatting it up with you boys? Yeah. But to be honest with you, it's 9:30 here. It's 9:30 here, and I got to get some other posts done. I got to get some work done so that I'm not fucking working all day tomorrow, and that I can be live tomorrow at 6:30 or 7 p.m. Pacific. Actually, 6 or 7 p.m., not 6:30. Hey, thank you, Tuxedo. One more dono for the road. Some are junkyard dogs. Some are Tom Aspinall. All right, Tuxedo. Chris goes, long live Tom Aspinall. AJD says, private healthcare, Blue Cross, like $350 a month. Louis, I can't believe he went down to $135. Chris, they opened that late. Damn. Gina, bye. Bye, Gina. Good night. Thank you for sticking with me. And Chris, yeah, they fucking close at 9:50 p.m. So I got to go now. I got 14 minutes, and I got to go get cash back real quick. So love you, boys. I will see you tomorrow. Wilfred, thank you for tapping in. Thank you for subscribing. I believe you did. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Pacific. I will be here. All right? Peace out, you guys. Love you guys.